Good afternoon, teacher. Today we're gonna present the task of the week number 5. Who knows more about Peruvian history? First, I'm gonna ask my classmate Wilbur. Please choose a card between 1 and 5.
4.
4. Who was the indigenous leader who led the rebellion of Tupac Amaru II?
The ingenious leader who led the rebellion of Tupac Amaru II was Jose Gabriel Condorcanqui, now as Tupac Amaru II.
Correct. Now Esteban choose a card between 1 and 5.
Okay, I choose the card number 2.
Okay. What was the name of the last Inca emperor who led the resistance against the Spanish?
Okay, the last Inca emperor who led the resistance against the Spanish was Tupac Amaru II.
Correct. Now, Wilbur, choose a card between 1, 3, and 5.
Okay, 2.
1, 3, and 5.
Okay, 1.
Okay. Who was the Inca leader who founded the city of Cusco?
Okay, the Inca leader who founded the city of Cusco was Manco Cápac.
Correct. Now, Esteban, choose a card between 3 and 5.
Okay, I choose the card number 3.
Esteban, who was the Spanish explorer who conquered the Inca Empire?
The Spanish explorer who conquered the Inca Empire was Francisco Pizarro.
Yes. Now, Wilbur, you will answer question number 5. Which
Okay.
Peruvian heroine stood out in the fight for independence, and she is known as the Libertador of Peru?
The Peruvian heroine who stood out in the fight for independence and is now as the liberator of Peru is Micaela Bastidas. Okay, now let's move on the next question to Esteban. Esteban, choose a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I choose the card number 4.
4. Okay. What famous Peruvian poet is now as the singer of America?
The famous Peruvian poet known as the singer of America is César Vallejo.
Okay, now let's move on the next question to Leonardo. Leonardo, choose a card.
Number 5.
Number 5, okay. Who was the prominent defender of women's rights and founder of the feminist movement in Peru?
The prominent defender of women's rights and founder of the feminist movement in Peru was Flora Tristan.
Okay, correct. Now let's move on the next question to Esteban. Esteban, choose a card.
I choose the card number 1.
Okay. Who was the Peruvian general who led the forces on the Battle of Ayacucho, which sealed Peru independence?
The Peruvian general who led the force in the Battle of Ayacucho, which held the independence of Peru was Antonio José de Sucre.
Okay, correct. Now let's move on the next question to Leonardo. Leonardo, choose a card,
Card number 2.
number 2, okay? Who was the Peruvian president who proclaimed the independence of Peru in this
1821, ¿no?
1821?
The Peruvian president who proclaimed the independence of Peru in 1821 was José de la Riva Agüero.
Okay. Now let's move on the next question to Esteban. Esteban, choose a card,
Oh, the last card is number 3, ¿no?
Yes.
number 3, okay? Who was the Peruvian writer, author of the royal commentaries and the history of the Incas?
Okay, the Peruvian writer, author of the royal commentaries and the history of the Incas was Inca Garcilaso de la Vega. Now I will ask the next 5 questions. Okay, Leonardo, please choose a card.
Card number 5.
Who is the renowned Peruvian singer who has stood out internationally with her folk music?
The renowned Peruvian singer who has stood out internationally with her folk music is Susana Baca.
Okay, that's correct. Next question, Wilber, please choose a card.
I choose a card, 5.
Okay, 5.
I already answered.
Choose another card.
I choose the card 2.
2. Okay, the question is, bueno, Wilber, who was the Chinese path leader who headed, no? Or headed, no? Headed the Chinese path group in the 1980s and 1919.
Okay, the Peruvian pilot who flew over the Nazca lines and made them now to the world was Toribio Mejia Sexpe.
Okay. Leonardo, please choose another card.
Card number 1.
Okay. Who was the Peruvian president who governed during the conflict with Chile known as the War of the Pacific?
Okay, the Peruvian president who governed during the conflict with Chile now as the War of the Pacific was Nicolás de Pirola.
Okay, that's correct. Who was the Peruvian president who led the agrarian reform in the 1960s?
The Peruvian president who led the agrarian reform in the 1960s was Fernando Belaúnde Terry.
Okay, that's correct. Wilber, please choose another card. This will be all. Thanks. No?
Thank you, teacher.
Okay.